Hello and welcome back to the Celebrity Almanac channel. This is Jamie Farr. This was the publicity photo that Jamie sent me when I included him in my Celebrity Almanac. And today's video will be a tribute to two of the stars on the television show MASH, Jamie Farr and Gary Burghoff. I want to tell you a little bit about each of them. And I did meet both of them previously in my career, but I was delighted when they filled out Celebrity Almanac data forms to tell me a little bit more about themselves. I wanted to also show you another photo of Jamie Farr and myself, and this was taken back around 1985 or 6. And Jamie was kind enough to come to a Walk of Fame ceremony. And I believe it could have been Dick Van Patten's ceremony, or it could have been the publicity that we did when we started to rehab the stars on the Walk of Fame from the licensing funds that we were getting from the marketing program. In any event, I met Jamie Farr at least 3 or 4 times in my career, and what a nice guy he is. Now, what I want to do is I want to read you the data form that he filled out and signed. And his real name is Jamil Joseph Farr. And he was born on July 1st, 1934 in Toledo, Ohio. He credits Mr. Roberts from 1953, where he was an understudy in the role on Broadway as his first career break. His most memorable career event is playing Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls on Broadway at the Martin Beck Theater in 1994. When I get around to Gary Burghoff, I want you to notice that even though they weren't together when they filled out these forms, and I got them at various times, you'll see that there's some commonality between the two of them, which is ironic that they ended up on the MASH television series. Because his favorite movie, Jamie's favorite movie, is It's a Wonderful Life. William Powell was his favorite actor, and Rosalind Russell was his favorite actress. His favorite TV show was Your Show of Shows, and he loves Chinese food. His sporting activity is playing golf, and that's one of the places I met Jamie, was at one of our golf tournaments at Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks. His hobby is his leisure time activity is gardening. And for his hobby, he loves reading biographies, finding out what other people have done in their careers, and so forth. And his favorite historical figure is Jesus Christ. He simply says in his legacy quote, "No excuses." And that's Jamie Farr. And now we'll talk about Gary Burghoff. And here's the Gary Burghoff publicity photo that he sent to me, which is in the Celebrity Almanac. And one of the first trivia things I'll tell you about Gary Burghoff is that he was the only actor in both the movie and the television series. So he was the only Radar O'Reilly in the movie, and then a few years later, the television series, the MASH TV show. As I mentioned previously, one of the things that Gary did when he attended the MASH reunion fundraising dinner that I put on at Riverside Community Hospital Foundation, he was very generous in getting people to bid more money on the wildlife paintings that he had donated to help us raise additional funds for that program. He's just a really neat guy, and so is Jamie Farr. Both gentlemen I've really enjoyed running into in my career. Gary says his middle name is Rich, and he was born on May 24th, 1943 in Bristol, Connecticut. His first career break was being in a Broadway play and playing the lead, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. So that's where he got his career break. His most memorable career event was winning 2 Emmys as Radar O'Reilly on the MASH television series in 1976 and 77. As I said previously with Jamie's data form, his favorite movie, Gary's favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life. So that's quite coincidental that they both feel that way about their favorite movie. Albert Finney is his favorite actor. He didn't mention an actress. Of course, his favorite television show is MASH. His favorite song is interesting. It's Cry by Charles Chaplin. And he loves watching baseball. And fishing is his leisure time activity, but also he puts down wildlife painting. And I got to tell you, he is a tremendous painter. His wildlife paintings that he does are so accurate, you feel like you can reach out and touch the duck or whatever wildlife he's painted. And the duck I mentioned because that was one of the paintings that he donated that I remember distinctly. It was a wildlife duck. Thomas Jefferson and Jesus Christ are his favorite historical figures. And I want to read you his legacy quote. And I have to look down at this because it's quite long. Only the foolish man worships nature. The wise man worships only the creator of all life. Only then will he gain deep and lasting respect for our natural world as a living sign of an unseen but loving, living God. And that's by Gary Burghoff. I have to have a little water. Now, as in every video, I like to end with something inspirational. And I've been reading legacy quotes, but I've also been reading some poetry. And this happens to be some poetry called The Desert Sunset. And I wrote this many years ago when I lived in Palm Springs. And I'd like to end the video today with this poem. Soft shadows begin to fall, silhouetting the majestic essence of the mountains. The west wind begins its daily journey across the landscape, reminding us once again that the gentle sounds of the night will soon arrive. The magnificent colors of reds, oranges, and violets blanket the sands and mountaintops, painting a perfect picture of warmth and serenity. The residents of the night begin to stir, and the evening serenade of life and laughter can be heard on the evening breeze. Dusk arrives, and the last glimmer of sunlight gives way to the mystery of darkness. The desert sunset is complete. I really love that poem. It's very colorful about a sunset in the desert. And I was pleased that the Desert Sun newspaper actually published that. Now, before I completely finish the video, I want to show you a couple pictures that I said I would show you. Here is Jamie Farr and Barbara Eden and myself, and that was at the grand opening of the Ontario Convention Center in Southern California that I was the MC for, and also I coordinated that entire dinner as a fundraiser for San Antonio Hospital Foundation, which was just up the street from the Ontario Convention Center. Barbara Eden and Jamie Farr. Now, who is that blonde in the red dress between Jamie Farr and myself? And you've heard me mention my wife a number of times in these videos. Well, that's my wife, Nancy Lewis. And I have to say she looked spectacular that night and every night in the 46 years that we've been married. Here's another one with Nancy and Chad Everett and myself. And I have to tell you, a couple times during that evening, a few people walked up to Nancy to ask her for her autograph, thinking she was Barbara Eden. So we got a good laugh out of that. And then, as I said previously, I wanted to show you a photo that my wife and I are really proud of. The late actor Robert Redford, who just passed away in the last year. So there he is, Robert Redford and my wife Nancy and myself. And that was taken at the Civic Arts Plaza in Thousand Oaks, the Bank of America Performing Arts Center. And that was one of the meet and greets that I put together for Distinguished Speakers series. Before they would go on stage about 8 o'clock for their speaking engagement, we would have a ceremony in the Founders Lounge, and we would conclude it after they would give a short presentation with taking photographs with all the people on the Founders Circle, and that's where Nancy and I had a chance to get a picture with Robert Redford, which is a keepsake for us. So that ends my video for today on our two MASH celebrities, and I want to thank you for watching. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, give us a like, a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit notifications so you'll know when we have other videos that we're posting. Thank you so much.